Hey treasures, welcome to my channel. So, in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about the time that I went on a date with this guy that I thought was cute and he didn't want me. So, if you guys want to hear about the time that I did not get the guy that I wanted, briefly, then let's carry on with this video. So this happened probably about a couple years ago, and again, I was on Tinder, the infamous Tinder, and I was single, and I was just like, you know what? I want to go on some dates. It was summertime. I love going on dates in summertime. That's pretty much like my greatest pastime, to be single in the summertime, because I don't know, it's just like a whole different vibe when you're single in the summertime and just like going on all these different dates and stuff like it. So, and like you always have like cuter outfits in the summertime, right? So it was a whole thing. And I remember I had matched with this guy, and I honestly can't remember his name because I would use it. I think it was Josh, honestly, but yeah, we're gonna just go with Josh. Have I used Josh before? I have, I'm sorry. Anyways, so I ended up matching with this guy named Josh, and he was not my particular type, meaning he was not Caucasian. So I was like, at this point, I was like, I don't care. I want to find someone cute. I want to find someone for the summer, and I want him to be cute. So whatever. And he happened to be that guy. So he was not my type, but he was attractive to me. And so him and I started talking, and we got along, you know, pretty fine, pretty okay. And pretty soon we ended up going on a date. Now, I am not the pickiest person in the world. Absolutely not. I am so not picky, especially with first dates. Like, to me, I just want to have a good time with somebody. So if me and you connect, you don't really need to spend any money on me. Like, I don't need to go to like a 5-star restaurant. I don't need to go to like 3 different things in a date. Like, I don't need to go to like a movies. I don't need to go to dinner. I don't need to go to golfing. Like, if you even want, like, we can meet up and we can just go for a drive. I can help you pay for gas. Like, I don't care. We could just like talk and like sing in the car. Like, that is a perfect date to me. There's a whole other story, but you know what I'm saying? So I am not high maintenance at all. So when him and I were gonna go out, we didn't really have set plans. It was just like we were gonna meet and then see where like the mood is gonna take us. Now, I remember I got dressed, and I'll insert a picture here of what I looked like, and that's very important to this story because I remember I was waiting for him to come pick me up. I live near like a school, okay? So I remember like these school kids, like these younger kids, and they were females, and you know how snotty those little bitches can be. I was waiting outside, and I was just like, you know, like fixing up, whatever, and these little girls ended up walking past like my driveway, and they're like, oh my god. And I'm just thinking like, okay, like I don't do well with little kids, so I'm just thinking like, we're like, you're so pretty. And I was just like, oh my god, like thanks, hun. Like, my date ends up pulling up, and I knew for sure, I was so confident at that point because I'm like, these 2 little girls are telling me that I looked good, and I thought I looked good. Obviously, you know, I was done getting ready, so I was like, okay, I have all the reassurance I need that I got this. And so I end up getting into the car, and I see him, and I'm like, okay, he looks better than when in his pictures. So I'm like, oh, like we'd be like a cute little like summer ting. And so we end up driving, and he's like, oh, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know, it's kind of hot, like let's get ice cream. So we end up getting ice cream, but we're sitting in his car, and then we end up just like chilling in his car, and we're just like, him and I were just like talking, like asking each other questions like back and forth. And so it was like nice. And then he ends up telling me about this girl that he was in love with. And I don't know why he ended up telling me this story. I have some suspicions because I do this if I'm not into somebody. So maybe he wasn't into me. I thought we were doing like fine enough for what I wanted. Absolutely not. But for what I wanted, for like a thing for the summer, to just have someone to like hang out with and like maybe get some fixes, you know, he was fine enough. We continue. So he ends up telling me about this girl that he's in love with, and I'm like, okay, like, why aren't you guys together then? And he tells me that she lives in a different country, and I'm like, okay, how'd you guys meet? And he tells me that they met through I don't know what you got, what, like, I'm clearly not a gamer, but however you meet people, like, when you're playing games, like, on PS3, 4, 5, 7, 8, whatever, he met the girl on there. And I'm like, okay, like, and I'm just thinking, like, in the car, oh, right then, like, why the fuck are you telling me this? Like, why are you here right now? Like, why are you on Tinder if you're in love with somebody? Like, I just didn't understand. When I tell a guy that I'm on a date with that I like about my exes and stuff like that, and I won't shut up about them, I do it on purpose. I know it's a turn off. I do it on purpose because I'm like, I am not feeling this guy, and I know subconsciously, like, he's gonna be like, okay, she's clearly hung up on her ex, I'm not gonna go anywhere near that, so I'm just gonna take this bitch home, you know? That's why I do it. Him doing it, I'm not really sure why he was, in the way that he was telling me, I'm not really sure why he was even on Tinder, because what he was trying to say was, like, he wouldn't go that distance with somebody, and it was like, didn't understand. So, you know, I, like, ended up leaving that date very just confused, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna see if he messages me and see what's going on from there. And so he ends up messaging me, and, you know, him and I are talking and stuff, and he ends up telling me that he does not find me attractive. Like, he phrases it like this. He tells me that I'm a cute girl, but he's just not attracted to me to be what I wanted, which was, like, pretty much like a summer, like, boyfriend. Like a summer boyfriend. Not a full-time boyfriend, like a summer boyfriend. And honestly, dropped my phone because I have never in my entire life, I don't mean to sound cocky at all, like, this is, don't take it as that, but it was just like a punch to the face, okay? Because I've never had anybody tell me they were not sexually attracted. If anything, like, I've always been the girl that's been, like, sexy, and without even trying to be, like, you may not find, like, my face cute, but, like, I've always been sexy. So for this person to tell me that I wasn't, and he was, again, not my type, and, like, I stepped out of, like, what my type was, and to pretty much have it, like, thrown back in my face in a way, I was just appalled. And I remember I had just started working at my job, and I had, like, these new friends, and I was telling them, and I'm like, this guy said that I wasn't sexy. Like, he really said I wasn't sexy. And my friends are like, what? And I had, like, a gay best friend, and he, at the time, me and him were new friends, and he was like, what? And he was, like, appalled because, like, even if he's gay, you can still tell. And I was so heartbroken. I don't think I've ever been I don't think I've ever been as heartbroken as I was hearing that statement. I wish I was kidding. So anyway, so he tells me that, and I was like, I think I just blocked him at that point. I was like, peace the fuck out. And I took him off Snapchat, and I was done. There was no coming, like, and he was like, we can still be friends. And I'm like, I don't need any friends. I don't need new friends. I need a summer boyfriend. So you don't find me attractive, which, fuck you. I'm attractive, okay? Okay. Let's fast forward to last summer, okay? So there was this new girl that starts working at my job, and for the sake of this video, we're gonna call her, oh my god, we're gonna call her Bridget. I don't know. So Bridget starts working at my job, and she pretty much the opposite of me. So she's, like, you know, Caucasian. She's has, like, kind of like a cute face, and I don't want to, like, get mean. Anyways, let's fast forward. See, everyone has different types, you know what I mean? But there's, like, a general line that, like, most people can find the people above it attractive. So it wasn't like that. And so I remember, like, her and I were at work, and it was, like, a slow day, and she's on her phone, and then she ends up showing me this guy, and she ends up talking to me with this guy that she had she has, like, a friends with benefits situation going on with. And I was like, oh, cool, because I told her, like, her type, like, oh my god, her type was atrocious. And I had told her this, and I was like, how is that your type? Like, how do you find that attractive? Anyways, so she's like, and I'm like, and she's like, well, you know, I had a friends with benefits, and he wasn't really my type, but, you know, whatever. And I was like, okay, I want to meet him. So let me see him on the gram. So she ends up pulling up Instagram, and she shows me him. Josh? And she's like, you know him? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, Josh is an asshole. And I ended up going into the story and telling her about it. And I was like, he broke my little 21-year-old. No, I think I was older than that. I think I was like 22, 23. I don't know. I was in like my younger 20s, okay? And I was like, he broke my little 20-something-year-old heart. And he told me he was the first guy ever to tell me that I was not sexy. And it hurt. My complications. Told me that I was sexy. Or told me that I was beautiful. Even though these two girls told me that I was beautiful. And told me that I was pretty. And you know those little bitches don't lie. So he told me this. What? And then she was thinking about it and she's like, you know what? He's always been into white girls, like, as far as I've known him, and I met him, like, 3 years ago. So, you know, maybe it was, like, weird for him to, like, go for you in the first place. And I was like, I don't care. I only go for white guys, and I chose him, and, you know, I don't know if I could have ever, like, actually, like, gone the distance with him, because, again, like, I'm into, like, white guys. It's just, I don't know. But he told me that I wasn't sexy. Like, even though I'm not into, you know, every single ethnicity there, I can admit, like, in every single ethnicity, you're gonna find someone attractive. Like, it's impossible to not find someone attractive in every single ethnicity. You know what I'm trying to say? And yes, you could meet somebody that you find physically attractive, but you're not sexually attracted to them. And, like, you know, whatever, they just don't do your motor. But I'm sexy, okay? Like, I have an idea, and I'm like, okay. So she's like, I'm going to Snapchat him and take a picture of you and I, and, like, let's see what he says. And I was like, perfect, that would be, like, great. The funny thing was, before I had this conversation, was the fact that I was on Tinder recently at this point in time, and I had ended up seeing him, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna match with him and, like, let's see what happens, you know? I like to do that for some reason. I don't know why. It's like, where are they now type thing for me. So I'm gonna see what's gonna go down. So I ended up matching with him again, and he's like, hey, like, how are you doing? Like, he remembered me perfectly fine, and he's like, hey, how are you doing? Like, looking good. And I was like, oh, really, I'm looking good, eh? Because the last I heard was that I was not attractive to you. I was not your type. I'm not attractive. And he's like, what? I don't remember saying that. You did. And he's like, well, maybe I said that I couldn't, like, be in a relationship. I'm like, no. You told me that I was not attractive. And he's like, well, I clearly lied. I apologize if that hurt you, but I don't know why I would have said anything like that. I'm sorry. And I was like, thank you. And then I just unmatched him because that was all I needed to hear. I got what I wanted, and I was done. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, it's over with. Like, you're out. There's no other possibility that could ever happen here. So thank you for that. Peace the fuck out. And so she took Snapchat, like, fast forward back to this whole conversation with me having with her. She takes Snapchat of her and I, and she sends it, and then we keep, like, checking, like, during work, we keep checking, and I'm like, did he look at it? Because this is just amusing to me to see what he's gonna say. Like, what are the odds, you know? But the town that I live in is, like, very small, so, like, it's like it's like the forest dance thing, you know? You're gonna meet someone, and they're gonna know a friend of a friend of a friend that you end up knowing. He ends up opening the snap, but he didn't say anything back, and I was like, damn, like, I definitely wanted to see, like, what he would have said. But he never ended up saying anything. He never replied to it, and that was that. That's pretty much it for the rest of the story. I hope you guys find it amusing. I certainly did. I mean, at the time, it genuinely hurt me. Like, I've told you guys some stories about me, like, winning, losing at love, whatever the case is. But this one hurt me the most. This genuinely hurt me because he was the first person ever to say it. The first and only person. I've still not received a second time. I hope I never do. But yeah, that was a time that I, you know, kind of wanted somebody and I did not get them, and they hurt me. Anyways, guys, has anything like this ever happened to you? Have you ever ended up going on a date with somebody and it didn't work out, and then shortly after you find a friend that has done something with them? Let me know down in the comments. I definitely want to talk it out. Let's chat. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.
And I'll make sure that I have time for you. Know that you've been on my mind. Only you